Welcome, Operative. If you're hearing these words, and you have the proper security clearance to understand them, you've obviously been accepted as an enlightened agent within the Technocratic Union. Congratulations! If you don't yet have the proper security clearance, don't worry. Remain exactly where you are. Operatives are being dispatched to your location to help you transition into the next stage of your existence. Before we release you back into the front lines to save the world, your local HR department has a few guidelines for your careful consideration, so we can ensure you don't stray from the straight and narrow path. As the author of the Orange HR Handbook for Construct Detroit Central, I've been asked to summarize our HR procedures for agents. You may feel some slight anxiety about notating this information, but you can relax. You won't be tested at the end of it. No, you'll go about your business for a month or two, and then you'll have random quizzes as part of our internal loyalty review program. If you've nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear. Whether you're destined to hunt reality deviants or work behind the scenes, remember that your friends in HR have your back. Welcome to Vorpal Tales, where we play terrifying tales and awesome adventures every day of the week. For you Mage fans, we have Mage all weekend now. This show on Saturday, and White Walls, our Mage 20th horror game tomorrow at 9 Eastern. On Tuesdays, we're playing Trinity Continuum Adventure, and this week on Friday, we'll be doing the Jumpstart for Geist, the Sin Eaters, run by Dwayne. Be sure to check our website, vorpaltales.com, to see our complete calendar for all shows, both Onyx Path and not. Catch recaps and get links to our past archive and our podcast links. You'll also find all our social media there and our Patreon, if so inclined. Be sure to click follow on Twitch so you can get notified of shows. And if you check out the YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell. All new and current Twitch followers will be entered into a drawing for a free PDF of any of our past games once we hit the next double aught. Special thanks to Onyx Path Publishing and White Wolf for gifting us the World of Darkness and all the support they offer. Thank you to Astral Tabletop for the virtual space we use to play all our games, to @NateMid for our custom Astral Tabletop character sheets that you could use too to play Mage 20th Anniversary Edition if you use Astral. Enlightened Agents, tell us who you are and who you're playing in this game.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dwayne at Made of Kimchi on the Internet, and tonight I will be playing Saplina Denisovna, the autocrat architect.
Hello, I am Kisama. You can find me on Twitter at TrueKisama, and tonight I will be playing Yamamoto Satori, a assassin and a member of the Progenitors.
Hello, I am JT. You can find me online as at Sensomancer. Tonight I will be playing John Nedry, a former U.S. intelligence community operative and double agent who has defected to the Detroit Construct after redacted.
Hello, I'm Harry. I'm playing a void engineer, and I am pulling up my character sheet to remember my name, but Astral's not working, so I love that.
Yeah, I can see what your character's name is.
Okay, good.
I just need to wake up my computer.
Come on, Astral, you can do it. I believe in you.
Are you Soren?
Yes, that's me.
Your character doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, I'm just Soren. Soren the void engineer. I shoot aliens.
So, you're taking my last name then, Soren Miller.
Okay.
And hi, I'm Jane. Tonight I'll be playing Thea Miller, the other half of Soren. And I too am a void engineer.
I am Zachary Naldret, he, him. You can find me on the interwebs, on places like Twitter and other social media sites as @ZachRules. That's a lie, it's really only Twitter. And tonight I'm going to be playing NWO agent Jacob Hardigan.
Excellent. Agent Armature 762 will rejoin us next week. He's busy partying this week. So, Agent Hardigan, if you would, please read the recap of last session, so both the audience and some of the players can see what they missed.
After action report, October 13th, the year 2033, filed by Agent Jacob Hardigan. 09:45 hours. Agents Armature 762, Dasha, Hardigan, Nedry, and Satori are gathered in Supervisor Betsy's office for mission briefing. 4 engineers were taken from a local Arachi facility. Dr. Nedry, no relation to Agent Nedry, is the lead engineer. Her only outside relations was with a security guard who was killed during the assault. There is no surveillance from inside the facility, although external cameras caught 2 helicopters, one assaulting the facility and one dropping 4 individuals that entered through the roof. 2 of these individuals were seen escaping through a window and running away. From that height, it is clear that they are RDs of some kind to be able to survive the fall uninjured. The timestamp on the external video shows the assault occurring at dusk, ruling out the possibility of hemophagic entity involvement. 10:15 hours. The amalgam departs the meeting. Agent Nedry drives as the rest of the agents make preparations for enlightened science adjustments and procedures to perform at the facility. Upon arrival, the amalgam enters the facility and is escorted to the lab where the attack took place. Agents Hardigan and Nedry discover corrupted code that is in the system that was entered by Dr. Gail Nazaro, head of R&D, which had shut down the building's internal surveillance. Investigation shows Dr. Nazaro to be a reality deviant who has escaped custody into the digital web. Agent Satori scanned the room for signs of life. The engineers that were taken to Dr. Nazaro's office were forced into the digital web. Agents Amateur and Dasha discovered that there were 6 assailants. At least one of them is confirmed a reality deviant. October 13th, 5 p.m. is heard. The agents make the connection with the timing of a public event being held at an Arachi subsidiary. 16:45 hours. Arriving at the location through hypertech optimized transport, the amalgam is greeted by several T0 and unenlightened T1 operatives. The report has the buildings have been secured and the RD has been isolated. Per SOP, they have not engaged and waited for arrival of higher tiered operatives. Agent Nedry had into the system with assistance from Agent Dasha and Agent Hardigan to isolate the one RD inside, while Agent Amateur adjusts the hit mark 5 that is outside to upgrade to deal with the RD. Security measures were controlled by inside the room, but the algorithm disabled the room security to allow entry. Inside, Dr. Nazaro is sitting at a computer terminal wearing a headset that is connected to it. Dr. Nazaro appears to be under the influence of Nephandic forces if he is not a Nephandi himself. The adjusted hit mark 5 approaches to apprehend the doctor. Having instructions to take him alive, Dr. Nazaro points a gun to his own head, halting the hit mark from proceeding. Agent Satori disables the doctor using combat training, destroying the weapon. Agent Hardigan uses a stun gun and an enlightenment adjustment to render the doctor unconscious. Agents with cybernetic enhancements feel the pull to commit violence. They are able to successfully repress the urge to act on it. The T0 and unenlightened T1 agents outside the room turn on each other with deadly force. Agent Dasha takes out the computer terminal as Agent Satori applies zipper ties to Dr. Nazaro. The hit mark outside the room disables the remaining agents outside. There were multiple casualties prior to them stepping in. At this point, agents with cybernetic enhancements fall unconscious. Agent Hardigan calls in an extraction team to secure and return the downed agents to the construct with instructions to monitor and report for any unmutual activity. Agent Hardigan took Dr. Nazaro into custody, turning him over to Psych Ops before reporting for debriefing.
Thank you, Agent. So, when we begin, it will be 1 year later, not 6 months.
Oh.
some of you were heavily damaged. Those of you that weren't had to undergo heavy reconditioning. Lots of testing for augmentations that were being used by the Technocracy specifically, because no one was free of effect from the rogue signal, including all technocratic cyborgs. It includes the hit marks you discovered later, or at least Jacob would have discovered, as the only unaugmented person in the crew. Those were specially modified private security for the council itself. That's why they were unaffected. However, all hit marks 6 and below were affected in the actual field, even the ones in storage. In fact, several of them escaped and have gained sentience and are free of control. Control is displeased about this. Who'd we lose?
We lost the imposter.
Yes, we lost the imposter. Stand by.
How did we lose the imposter?
I'll worry about that in a second when it comes back. So, in the year that's passed, some of you were affected worse than others, but you were all, except for Agent Hardigan, kept out of the field during that time period. Because, as you can imagine, the world has gone into upheaval. During the event itself, something like 90 million civilians and augmented humans were massacred in the space of those 10 minutes it took you to disable the signal. There were approximately 1.5 billion augmented humans at the time, and they all went mad. So 90 million is the death count. You can imagine the casualty count and the destruction, the ones that were driving or piloting things. Not good scene. In the year since what is now being called the Aug incident, the public sphere of augmented people has become very pronounced. Lots of countries began introducing laws restricting the rights of augmented citizens while they were trying to figure out what happened. And if some of them even had transhumans be forced to live in separate cities. As a result of this, the United Nations has come together to provide UN Security Council Resolution 3507, known as the Human Restoration Act. It's currently under review for being voted on, and it's about to be voted on in this year in the backdrop of what's happening to all of you. UN Resolution 3507 is thus: the Security Council, observing that the segregation, discrimination, and conflicts related to the status of augmented humans poses a clear and continuing threat to international peace and stability, affirming the importance it attaches to respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms of all, regardless of augmentation, and acting under Chapter 7 of the revised Charter of the United Nations. 1. Authorizes the mandatory application of the dampering biochip developed by the Anansi Corporation to all augmented persons. 2. Urges all member states to make provisions to ensure their augmented populations are treated within 24 months of the date of adoption of this resolution, and to provide them with the necessary legal documentation to prove it. 3. Empowers all member states to safeguard their populations from those augmented individuals who refuse to implant the chip by corralling such people into safe, secure, segregated districts and or housing complexes that will be monitored 24/7. 4. Calls upon the governments of member states to phase out current policies limiting the rights of augmented peoples who have been implanted with the chip and possess the necessary documentation to prove it, to cross borders, live and work, and serve the state or other organization, and that UN monitors are to be kept appraised of these processes. And 5. Decides to remain actively seized of the matter. The result of this law even being considered has led to widespread unrest. Both pro and counter protests, violent clashes, riots. Detroit itself, remember how big we said Detroit was last session, is just a constant turmoil of simmering violence that explodes almost nightly, but not quite. For Harry and Jane, when describing your world because of the changes wrought by previous characters in my other games. Detroit itself actually covers not just the Detroit area, but every suburban center of Detroit, which is basically the entire southern half of the southern peninsula of Michigan. A very, very, very massive city. The chip itself, that the UN resolution refers to as dampening, is legal speak for they can shut you down. You implant that chip and turn you off anytime they want. That is the world that you all wake up to. All of you who were in the previous session already know when you sent the signal to shut down, it shut down you as well, everyone except Agent Hardigan. As for Harry and Jane's characters, you were both heavily damaged because you were with other augmented personnel on a different unassigned task when the rogue signal went out. Harry, you much worse than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately 68% of your body mass has been replaced with cybernetics to keep you alive. This is how we're dealing with your 5 dots in secret weapons.
I
You
guess
are now the
power comes at a cost.
You are now the most augmented human on the planet. One moment. I should be able to fix the camera.
My husband's a living machine. Tin Man, but with a heart.
No,
Not
he
really,
doesn't
I-
have heart.
I was gonna say, does he have a heart?
Well, I can't. The stress won't let me raise my arms more than. Well, you're nice to me, and you're nice to Bub, so that's what matters.
Bub is the creature that she keeps.
Stand by, I'm fixing the cams.
So if I wipe Magnet over you, you're not going to keel over?
He is EMP proof, or at least to some extent. He is EMP resistant.
I've been ruggedized.
Do you have enough spheres to find out how resistant he is, though?
Unlikely. Pretty sure the good doctor does not have enough force sphere to create an EMP.
Oh yeah, and if you try, I'll fucking waste you.
I do not like the metal man.
But is he resistant to puns?
Also highly unlikely.
Okay, perhaps.
I am made of metal. I'm very heavy.
Perhaps we should not be experimenting on my husband. Or perhaps the rest of you should not be experimenting on my husband.
Is there anything about experimenting? I was just giving you ideas.
Yeah, you, not the rest of the party.
I'm just.
I
No.
think as soon as they got out of the hospital, Theo would have just been like testing everything, just like, oh, this is so fascinating.
Also, remember, he's not your husband, you're twins.
No.
No, they.
Oh, did you
They-
go with husband and wife and I forgot?
Yeah.
Yeah. That they're soul bound, in which case they went that route.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, we went that route. He's already a twin in real life. And me, I have no idea.
You're probably not a twin.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, there we go. Now we're back to normal.
We're good to go.
So, returning to Soren. Thus are your augmentations. You ready? You can increase the following skills by 2 dots each. Strength, brawl, firearms, and melee.
God damn.
Oh my. Oh my.
That would bring my firearms up to 6, so would I just make a specialty or?
Caps at 5, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Internally, you have IR and UV vision and a VDOS data crawl. VDOS is a technocratic device that lets you communicate with control, access the internet.
Okay, so let me just edit the text here. Oh, what is it? VDOS interface.
IR and UV optics, infrared, ultraviolet.
Yep. Yep.
Your hands can turn into multi-purpose tools, most of which you probably will use to kill things, because you're you. Claws, grabbing implements, they can spin around, which you can imagine what that would do to someone's face.
Yeah.
Meaning
His
that
dreadnought hands.
strength plus 2 base lethal damage for your hands.
Jeez. Mm-hmm.
Your health levels are now the following. And you won't be able to fix this on the astral sheet, you'll have to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 -5. Dead.
How many okays was that?
6.
So basically just change his sheet to a hit mark.
Close. Hit marks are actually stronger than him. Their hands do 8 lethal, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 base health levels before they hit the -5.
And do I have any ranged firepower?
Not built in. No, you don't have built-in weaponry.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you just continue.
No, I was wondering about, like, would I have access to, like, a rifle or something? I'm assuming I would, because we put our dots into our bases thing, right?
Oh yeah, you'll have access to equipment.
Perfect.
The fake agent does not like that and left the room.
Yeah. Our fake
Too
cam is
powerful.
not having a good day. I imagine Soren's head just pops off like a Pez dispenser, and then a gun pops up.
It'll be fucking incredible.
You are not quite Adam Jensen, though, even though there's a lot of Deus Ex references happening in the background. So, but you're close. You also have a camouflage unit that helps read your surrounding environment and project a 3D illusion on your skin. This essentially means you can turn invisible. But it's not total invisibility, there you can still see something's not quite right. There's a
Yeah, so
distortion.
it's like active camo, kinda.
Yeah.
So you're a mechanical predator.
And you have 2 points of built-in armor that will resist lethal but not aggravated.
Oh, wow.
This can't possibly go wrong.
No, why are we here again?
However, it is experimental, and it is susceptible to certain environmental effects, like incredibly powerful EMPs. You have
And
4 permanent paradox.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Let me just mark that down real quick.
And you require 1 point of quintessence a day simply to operate.
Oh wow.
Primal energy, in your case, as a technocrat.
Okie doke.
Meaning, do you have any dots in the prime sphere yet?
No, I don't think so.
What is your genius at?
Let me just write this down. My genius... wait, I have spirit and forces, but no prime. And genius, would that be a background?
Yep.
I do not have genius.
Pretty sure you wrote it down as something weird. We found that last time. Like, enlightened potential or something.
Oh, yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, Starship microgravity operation, 3 in rank. Other traits.
Wonders?
Disturbing mannerism, amnesia.
Does this mean he'll need to have batteries?
I don't see it, but I think you're right that it was something weird.
You might need to recharge, maybe by sleeping.
That's just a human being, Jane.
Yep.
No, but like, for you, it might be even...
Okay, I've written down enlightened potential.
I recommend you switch some points real fast and pick up said background.
Okie doke. So I will lower my rank then just a bit.
Each point you put in Genius allows you to hold 1 point of quintessence, meaning that's how long you can stay away from a construct or other node or place of energy.
Okie doke. Then yeah. Then we're good.
So if you put 1 point in Genius, you can only be gone 1 day before you just shut down.
Now, having said that, let's say that we are on an extended leave of absence. Would one of us be able to shut my phone off? Would one of us be able to shove quintessence into him?
Only if you had it in the form of TAS, which to a Technomancer is a battery. You can't take it out of your pattern because you don't believe that's how things work. You're not that kind of mage.
Yeah.
Even if I were to justify it as a hand crank and moving really quickly?
Correct. That would just be kinetic energy, not prime.
Ah.
Do any of you have Prime that you can just juice me up with?
Yeah, I don't have any prime anyway, so.
I have Prime 3, that's why I was asking, like, hey,
No.
does the Technocracy cover hand cranks?
You could channel prime into him from a node. So like if you ran into a node in the environment, you could do that without him having to meditate and plug into it. In other words, you wouldn't need an interface to do it. You would be the interface.
So I've moved some dots around and gotten a dot in, or 2 dots in enlightened potential.
Okay. So that means your battery lasts 48 hours.
Yep.
Okay.
So, a question. Since our souls are connected, if he goes out, I'm assuming something happens to me as well.
No, because it's just unconscious. He doesn't die if he runs out of
Oh,
power.
okay, that's good. But, like, if just... So we're just gonna have to lug you around in order for me to function better.
Yeah, and he's heavy as shit. Doesn't weigh as much as a T-800, but it's close.
I'll set off anti-tank mines.
Magnetic defense systems would react to you, but to be fair,
Yeah.
they'd react to most of the party. Agent Hardigan, you've spent the last year first in an extensive debrief, and then in extensive sessions in Room 101, just to make sure that your crew didn't have anything to do with the incident. And then several months employed in nothing more than the defense of the construct that you belong to, recalling field agents, finding lost agents, trying to recover bodies and or living people if they're still there, which is reflected by the fact that you already got to spend some of your XP. But you haven't actually had time to deal with what happened, neither has the Technocracy. 12 months is not a long time from this kind of fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in that capacity, have I gotten any opportunities to try my hand at Room 101 activity?
what do you mean?
Have I gotten any, been any of the deprogramming to anybody? Or is it just
yes.
strictly... Okay.
You've assisted in deprogramming agents who could not reconcile what they had done in those 10 minutes. None of them were wiped because of flaws or failed service. Some of them just couldn't handle the consequences of what they did. Heavily modified agents were, in some cases, responsible for scores of civilian deaths. Hardened agents, whatever. Not so hardened agents, that's kind of a big deal. So, you actually are back at the construct on the day when the team is brought together. The rest of you have been in various phases of reconditioning. Those of you lightly enhanced have probably been actually in retraining the longest, meaning getting used to your new enhancements. Reconditioning your bodies. If you were in stasis for X number of months, it's not great for the muscles. So I imagine Nedry has been out the longest, because I think Nedry only had eyes, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I have an arm.
Oh, so armature might have
Satori's
been
with the eyes.
So you would have been out the longest, yes. Out of conditioning, I mean, meaning you have been active in the construct the longest. Also, Thea has minor augmentations compared to the rest of you.
Oh, I do have augmentations?
Let me look. Unless Astral Music is doing weird things tonight. Okay. Let's see what you put into those backgrounds.
As for backgrounds, I put 5 into Genius, 4 into Certification, 2 into Companion.
Oh, you're right. The reason you're affected is your background, not because you were augmented. Much like Armature 762, with or without the cybernetics, you were created using the same technology that creates the augmentations. That's part of your redacted history. You probably missed all that too when Jacob read that in the first session as the intro. But you can see that in the recap. It's also available in the Discord room. It's heavily redacted, but it shows some of your history.
Alrighty, that's fun. And I've got Lub here. My little tiger.
Yes, people wondering.
Owl.
For people wondering about that, Thea has a technocratic familiar, which isn't a familiar. It's a creature that Thea probably actually helped create and raise in the lab. It is something like a fusion between a snow leopard, a snowy owl, and a ferret. And what did you name it?
Blub.
Flub.
Blub.
Blub.
B-L-U-B.
Blub. Its name is Blub. So, when the scene opens, you're actually all in the lunchroom for the first time as a unit again. You've also had Soren and Thea added to your unit. They're a package team. It's actually to replace Armature 762, who had some serious flaws in his augmentations and is taking longer than the rest to recover. So, for the time being, they've assigned these two, which is technically one unit because of their unique circumstance, to your team. So you're not with your supervisor meeting like you were in the first session. You're just in the cafeteria having lunch, all at the same table. Jacob having arranged this, now that everyone but the armature is out of recovery.
Why is it the first day we are back? It has to be meatloaf for lunch.
No comment, I'm just eating.
Soren, can you eat the rest of mine?
Yep.
Can I have your dessert?
Yes.
Agent, it's good to see you again.
You as well.
Sure. Hi.
Who are the new ones?
I'm Thea. This is Soren. We're void engineers. And this one here is Blub.
Blub.
Yes.
Is this your dog?
I wouldn't exactly call Blub a dog. Blub is more like a chimera familiar. A combination of different animals, and they serve me. And by serve me, I mean emotional support when this one's off murdering Xenos, when instead I could be doing autopsies of them.
I bring you bits that can be autopsied.
You bring me a hand!
Would you rather I bring torsos?
Yes, please. Actually, a torso would be so much more interesting because... Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't talk about this over the table. It gets quite gross.
I'm confused how you're not a progenitor, but that's probably a different story. Everybody's all clear for duty now, though, from my understanding. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Good.
Now, Jacob, you do have an assignment for the team. You're not necessarily higher rank than them, but you're the de facto leader after what happened last time. Because you essentially took charge In the panic of the situation, you've all received high honors from the Security Council from Control, because Control was present in the building. You essentially saved them, but Jacob was most noticed. It's both good and terrifying at the same time.
Because I was the only one that was still standing and everything was over.
Your mission, actually, for now, because they have another operation in the works that they'll be telling you about shortly. But while they finalize the logistics of that, you never did finish following up on what happened. Like, you got as far as you did with the information you had, but then shit happened and you haven't followed up on any of those other leads in a year. They still want to know who was responsible. Clearly, it wasn't the doctor after all.
Our original mission still stands. We are still expected to get to the bottom of what happened at the Arachi facility, which was the starting point of all of this. So what happened with Dr. Nazaro other than after he was brought in?
Yes, is he still alive?
Brain dead, but alive. He's been in stasis ever since. They've tried several different procedures, but they have not been able to restore his consciousness.
Dr. Nazaro is
They did, however, pull everything his eyes saw the last 48 hours before he collapsed into viewable data, but it wasn't real useful. It showed him acting like a bad person. It showed him acting like a deviant, but obviously it wasn't his control.
And doesn't give any indication of what happened with Dr. Nedry and the other engineers that were taken.
Correct. He never actually interfaced with them, which is interesting.
So we still don't know what happened with the other engineers.
They're still missing.
That were taken. And I've been asked to. We've been asked to continue that mission now that we're all back together, mostly.
Good. Where do we start?
Well, Dr. Nazaro was a dead end, so...
Dr. Nazaro is a dead end. You have that one piece of encrypted information. You obviously need a lot more to complete it. It's somewhere between 10 and 15% complete. You would need more of the data to actually even decrypt it, let alone figure out what it is afterwards.
In the year since, has the Technocracy not learned any additional knowledge that we haven't?
No. They've been dealing with the fallout of what happened. Like, half of the Technocracy is augmented in some way.
Right.
It was a massive blow to infrastructure.
So to catch you all up to speed, this past year I've essentially been tracking down agents who were affected and who weren't able to be brought in for immediate assistance, like you were. And most of the other agents that were in the field who were unaffected were performing the same task. From my understanding from Supervisor Betsy, we have at this point been cleared to re-engage in our original mission.
Agreed. Now, every successful mission starts with a trip to the armory, so shall we proceed?
Do we know of a list of associates that this doctor has? Perhaps I can get into contact with them.
Dr. Nedry's only known associate was killed in the assault when the engineers were taken.
Now, those of you that were there last session do have some leads.
Yes.
But because I know not everyone takes notes and people have bad brain weeks, if you can't figure out what they are, you can spend 1 point of temporary willpower for the GM to remind you.
As far as the data, do you still have access to the data that you had gathered during our initial sweeps of the facility?
do we as a whole, or are you asking Tyler?
I'm asking the group at the table.
Oh.
It's an in-character way of saying, what do you remember?
Let me think here. Because it has been a week.
So this information would have gone over Satori's head, but I do remember there being mentions of the satellite dishes being affected on the way to, like, the relay dishes. Maybe there'd be some data there that could be scraped.
Backtrace the
We
data
could get-
stream.
If we can get access to those satellites, of course.
That is one clue, yes. Well done.
I doubt that the original computer that was used to send the signal would be usable after what happened.
You blew the shit out of it. However, if you think real hard, there was something about another computer in the Manticore
Yeah, it wasn't
building.
even. So.
Not the Manticore building, in the Detroit building.
So we would have access to the computer that they disappeared into.
What was special about that?
The one in the Detroit building?
Yes. There was something specific about the disappearance.
That it wasn't. It wasn't
Where did they
actually
go?
That computer?
Where did
Digital web.
There it is.
Yeah.
You could go all Tron and try to trace their movements through the web. That's 2.
Does the date have any significance? October 13th at 5?
If it does, you don't know what it is.
Okay.
October 13th was when they pulled off the plan. So they went missing several days before that.
Correct.
That was October 11th, I believe.
Yeah, but that was
Correct.
that was the unveiling of the.
Yeah, the significance, as far as you don't know if there's layers. But the significance that's obvious is that all of control was in that Manticore facility for the unveiling of the new satellite relay system that went all the way out to the edge of the solar system.
Maybe someone in control. Nope, shouldn't go there. I'm going to get dead real quick.
I'm assuming that project is.
If anyone in the party can say that out loud, it would be you as a defector from a different organization. You would be least likely to be brainwiped for saying that out loud.
Would it be safe to assume, though, that that project would have been stalled and not progressed since that time?
Actually, no. The relay is still in use. Now that the rogue signal was destroyed.
Do we want to get access to it?
What about the chips that were implanted in everyone before the...
There are many copies of those available, yes. Even your own are available. Because you've been replaced with the new dampening chip, except yours doesn't actually... The only people that can control you are the Technocracy, which doesn't change. It was already that way. You can't be shut down by a government.
So there might be data on those chips from what happened. Same with the relay. I'm just thinking out loud by this point.
So what if we did a data autopsy on the chips? We could find who produced them, and then we can negotiate with them.
Well, you know who produced them. That
Okay.
company's not suspect. That's a subsidiary of Arachi, which is a subsidiary of the Technocracy. The Valley Corporation leads the way in augmentations and genetic engineering, and Manticore creates the physical components, both of which are subsidiaries of Arachi.
Then we should try to figure out what data's on those chips.
Doesn't mean they're blameless, but I mean, you know who they are. Arachi actually has several subsidiaries, amongst which they control basically every facet of the world, including food, education, video games, the internet, technology, computers, tablets, cell phones.
At that moment, Agent Hardigan is going to take a bite
Pharmaceuticals.
of his energy bar.
Yes,
Hmm.
they even own the most popular video gaming company in the world. Notoriously known for releasing bugged games. But they don't care. Also, their crunch is the worst. Black Dog
be-
Gaming.
I wonder if maybe the enemy could have put movies in them, and because how else would we have gotten not compromised chips?
Well, this is either something that had to have been set up years in advance.
To the best of our knowledge, it wasn't an issue with the chips being compromised. It was an issue with somebody getting access to the signal.
It was the chip.
Oh,
But it was only the chip because the Technocracy built a compromise into the chip. The Technocracy was trying to guide Ascension. So they made everyone's augments malfunction enough to make the excuse of needing the chip. And then, yeah, their chip was compromised by the signal. So it was the chip. But the signal was the out-of-control factor.
from Agent Hardigan's understanding and his relationship with the Technocracy, he would not admit that, though.
That is correct. Technocracy did nothing wrong, obviously.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Of course.
So, what leads we have to track down are the trying to trace what happened through the digital web with the engineers being taken, so that we can find out what they're being used for, and in the best case scenario, return them and have them bring them to room 101 for an after action review. Option 2 is to attempt to get access to Technocracy satellites system and find a flaw in it that was compromised.
I can help out with that. Possibly.
I mean, I feel like it would be kind of hard to go poking around Technocracy stuff. No, I'm saying, hey, we think you did it fucked up. So maybe option 1 would be easier. Also, Soren, are you gonna eat your vegetables?
You can have them.
Come on, you should at least get some vegetables in.
I only need calories to power myself.
Soren.
Fine.
It's actually true. Any organic matter you input can be transformed into energy and processed by your internal systems, but Thea's never going to believe that.
Yeah, no.
You could survive on scotch.
Why would we be worried about offending other technocrats? We should simply... Well, we can force them to reckon with our inquiries.
Soren, we can't just go punching other people in our organization. We'd have a huge thing with Do you not
We don't
remember
have
what
to
happened
punch
at the
them.
Christmas party?
We don't have to punch anyone.
You don't remember what happened at the Christmas party, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
I am starting to like the metal man.
He's fun.
People
So-
listen when I talk. We should go and speak with the people responsible. They will listen.
The closest approximation to how he looks, by the way, because you keep saying Metal Man, is he does look a lot like the Adam Jensen character from Deus Ex. Not the sexy face, but like that's how much metal he is.
Excuse you, I like to think I'm very sexy.
Maybe you are.
Very
But, like,
sleek.
you'd only be able to hide your augmentations with like a full trench coat with a hood and looking down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we should at least bring them a gift if we're gonna be barging in there and being like, let us see your satellite records.
Who do you think we're going to go to talk to find out about that?
We could talk to IT. No one ever talks to IT. They're just in the basement.
There's no reason to barge in. Let's just ask.
Agreed.
I have, how do you say, spice?
Useful.
That's spice.
Yeah, not spice.
The spies must flow.
I have spice.
I have spice, and Thea will
Need
just
some for the
take out
meatballs.
like a little bottle of oregano from her purse.
Thea keeps oregano in her purse. Interesting.
That says something about a person.
Noted. Agent
Sometimes the
Nedry.
seasoning isn't enough.
She confuses me.
Why not basil?
Agent Nedry, I understand when you were with the reality deviants that your group was highly skilled in accessing the digital web. Is that correct?
Go with yes.
That is correct. That is their specialization.
Oh, I was role playing a Koi comment.
I mean, for you, because I know you're new to the game.
Oh.
Your faction actually created it.
Okay.
So this does seem like a way of access that would not lower our degree within the technocracy and would not end up in any performance reviews.
Except mine, probably.
You have certain leeway as a valuable asset. See, you just probably think, depends on how sus you are about everything, but you just probably think they give me a little more slack because I'm still adjusting. What you don't know is there's a kill switch in your head, and if you do deviate too much, it'll just blow you up.
Well, that's news. That's news to me.
Well, like he says, what you don't know is
Yeah.
Just don't play with that thing on the back of your head.
anybody else.
Oh,
who
it's
has
all
a
wetware. It's not
Yeah.
metal.
and anybody else who has a chip may want to consider that as well.
Yeah, just saying.
Oh, no.
And anyone who's VAT grown, I'm sure they didn't build subcommands into your genetic code.
Of course not.
Oh my god.
That would be unfortunate.
Bob, do you think they chipped you too? I know I had to vet chip you.
So I
It
think,
just
I feel
looks
like
at you
this
and
is not
makes a
mine.
hoot purr. It knows it's been chipped.
You took that to a vet outside of a construct?
No, it was a construct vet.
How are you not the vet?
This small creature lives only by my grace.
Yes, I believe.
I know that when I'm not around, you occasionally pet Tom.
This is untrue.
I have videos.
Where are these videos located?
You're in the construct. There's.
I'll just take her
of
phone
course
and
you're
just
on video.
crush it.
Photos on that!
I have backed up all important files into my memory. I can download them onto a new phone for you.
Nedry's over there swiping through the videos of you petting it.
Not replacing that out of my requisition allowance. So, does anybody have a preference? It sounds like if we have two different routes to pursue, that possibly splitting up may be the best course of action.
Splitting up is rarely the best course of action.
At least with us.
Have you ever seen a horror movie before, sir?
I have seen a horror movie before, quite a few. However, from my understanding, we're either going to be in a construct where we are all on the same team, or those of us who are going after the computer from the Arachi facility are going to a facility controlled by the Technocracy. We're not in a cabin in the woods with a man in a hockey mask and a large knife chasing us around. we're on safe ground wherever we go with either option that we pursue. So why not pursue both?
Maybe not safe, but definitely less difficult than normal.
Well, another thing is we can't really be separated. It's kind of complicated.
We are literal soulmates.
Yes.
I've been given a minor briefing.
Not what you would say. In character, you would have been led to understand that the vat that grew you both had minor defects, and your
Oh.
genetic code has some kind of weird flaw.
We are a result of a defect. I feel an immense appreciation and instinct.
Correct. Souls. What kind of garbage is that?
My dear, I think you can just say love. I think that's the
You are allowed
Perhaps.
to. Yes, emotions are a thing in the Technocracy.
Despite her
just not
affinity,
souls.
Yes, despite her affinity to this small creature, I do love her.
And we in love you too, my dear.
Blub's on thin ice.
I should mention, Blub is the size of a snowy horned owl. So yes, to Soren that might be small, but like, you might want to be careful about taking it out in public because you can't stick it in your pocket. It is very large. It's like 2 feet tall and 1.5 feet wide.
Get a falcon.
Until it yeah, and when it unfurls its wings, it's massive.
Right.
Our
Cardigan,
original,
I guess.
Yes, my stance is that our original mission was to find the engineers that went missing. That's what we've been tasked with. I think that is what we should pursue. If there are others who would wish to pursue the satellite angle and move on that, and I would not be opposed to working as 2 separate teams.
Well, if you want to stick together, I can have my people check out the satellite while we go and look for the engineers.
That would be wise.
Do we know if the engineers' chips are still active? Perhaps we could satellite pinpoint from their location from that.
Engineers weren't augmented.
Well, that complicates things.
I feel like I should stick around here then and work on the excuse me, what's the internet called? What
Virtual web to you.
virtual web angle?
That is the angle we were pursuing, because that's where the computer was, is where they entered the digital web.
Okay.
So, how non-enlightened individuals were able to enter? From the reports, the engineers were not reality deviants and were not enlightened scientists. So how they were able to enter the digital web is beyond my understanding of its uses. There may be something in that facility that may have some answers. That is assuming that the Technocracy has not already removed that computer based off of the report that was given in, Tyler.
Or totally shut down that facility.
No, the site in the remote Manticore site in the Carpathian Fangs is shut down, but not the headquarters for. I'm going to get the names wrong.
But
Not. Go ahead.
But in the course of the year, though, that computer is still where it was.
Yeah, that whole floor isn't in use anymore, but it's still there. It's basically
It's all
shut off
okay.
to the public.
Okay.
All right, so then
Valley. The Valley building is still there.
we should head to the Valley building and see what we can find out. This time, hopefully, there's not going to be we're not going to stumble on another reality deviant trying to bring hell to the world again.
Okay.
One would hope so. So are you all going, or are you splitting up? That's the part I wasn't.
We'll go. We'll stop by the armory to pick up a rifle, some ammo, just in case.
That's where we're splitting up, but then we're gonna meet back up in the parking lot.
Ooh,
Okay.
Could we stop at the little pickup area? I want to pick up some pudding to go.
Pick up pudding on your own time. I have to get rifles.
Can I ask, sort of, so having being new to Mage, the virtual web, what kind of like spells or hyperscience would I have in order to manipulate that, use it, hack it? Like, this feels like this is going to be a place for my character to shine, and I feel like I'm not quite sure what he is capable of in this circumstance.
The virtual web is a physical dimension, meaning you will enter it physically. Literally, Matrix Tron.
Okay.
Once in there, yes, you will be the most powerful team member. How it differs from the real world, we'll get into that as you get in there, because there's a lot to that, so we'll address those as they come up one at a time.
Gotcha.
It gets weird.
So, you are all given your standard requisitions for a field mission where all you're really doing is going to another building, meaning they tell Soren no rifles, but they give you sidearms.
Fair enough.
You could make a requisitions roll to get more than they're giving you, but they don't think you need more than sidearms to, cross the city.
I'll make the requisitions roll just for fun. Let's see it.
How many dots do you have in requisitions?
How many did we put? As a group, requisitions a group effort, right?
5 or 6 dots. Something in that range.
As a group, we have 6 dots in requisitions.
That is 3 successes then, if successes are 6 up.
What's your rank?
My rank is 2.
7.
Oh, so then that would still be 3 successes. 2 7s and 8, and then 2 3s and a 2.
Could be 4 if you use Rachel's vote, or you could save Rachel's vote for something else. Rachel just gave
You know what?
a
I'll use
willpower
Rachel's
point.
vote. I'll use Rachel's vote.
Rachel, you're only encouraging his chaos.
Rachel knows what she's doing. Oh, she does.
Don't give the super cyborg a rifle. He's already too powerful. He's going to kill us all.
Oh, I'm not going to kill any of you.
You are able to requisition a rifle.
Hell yeah.
Says the agent who in the past years had to break down because of the technology snafu that happened a year ago.
At 4 successes, you're able to requisition a magnetic recoil rifle. It folds up to the size of a handgun, except it's a lot thicker because it's folding up, but you fold out the stock and you fold out the underbarrel and everything, and the clips are separate because, it's
Wonderful.
a banana clip.
Yep.
But yeah, what that basically means is it hits harder than a regular rifle, magnetically
Perfect.
charged instead of gunpowder.
So like a little railgun.
Like a mini weak railgun, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, weak is a general term.
Yeah, compared to a
relative
full
term.
railgun, yeah.
Soren, I don't think this mission is going to be involving any Xeno.
I'd rather need it. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
I wish you had that mentality when we were packing for vacation.
I do have that mentality. That's why I always bring the rifle with me on vacation.
Soren, we don't need.
This is why we get stopped at TSA every single time.
Your trip across town is uneventful.
Wonderful.
No riots or mobs are interacted with because you maneuver around them. You can imagine the backdrop of the city is always barely simmering RoboCop violence at this stage, but you can route around it if you know where things are happening. So, you arrive at the building. Takes the same 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get there as it did the first time because the city's massive. You're ushered inside, and they they did it at this stage because it's been so long since this began. You don't even have to do the introduction like you did last time. They just give you passes and show you to the elevator. The executive elevator. So you make your way to the closed floor. When you exit the elevator, lights come on so that you can see, but obviously nothing's been done in here in a year. It's dirty, it's cold. There's no power or anything except the lights that respond to your movements. They cleaned up the blood and the shell casings. So like the floors are clean and shiny now, but like none of the damage was repaired. So there's still like destroyed walls and glass, missing glass everywhere. Broken technology was never replaced.
So uncanny.
I'll lead the way to Dr. Nazzaro's lab, which is where they would have gone in.
Correct. Still there, exactly the same as you left it, minus blood and shell casings on the floor.
Before we dive into the virtual web, I want to put a call in.
Okay.
Just in case this takes us a while. So I've got spies.
Yes, you do.
I want to try and see if I can ferret out some information. I have 3 dots, so I took the 1 or 2 in highly secure areas instead of a bunch
Right.
in hard to reach areas. So yeah, I'm just going to try and ferret out some information on to see if anyone else has started looking into that data stream that had gone through the satellites, just to see if we can get a jump start on that. I will specifically
You mean
call...
somebody outside of the Technocracy?
No, the highly secure area, well, I don't know. It just says highly secure areas being either a technocratic symposium, tradition chantry, classified government bureau, etc. Blah, blah, blah.
Do you want one of your spies to be a highly placed technocrat? Because that's super useful. It's also super dangerous.
Super creepy. I don't know about a technocrat.
In that case, you would just have to ask because Technocracy controls access to that data. You could put one of your spies at a high rank in Arachi, though. Just because the Technocracy controls the corporation doesn't mean everyone in the corporation is a technocrat.
Oh yeah, let's do Arachi.
That could be useful later. But in this case, all you gotta do is make a call to your supervisor, who will be like, no. Only cursory,
No.
only cursory information, only cursory passes were done on any of the information. There just wasn't time. Data analysts fed it through standard things, but no progress was made.
All right.
It needs enlightened agents, and when 50% of your enlightened agents go offline, and there's only a handful of them to begin with, it's a big deal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll put one in a high rank in Arachi and another in a high rank in the government. And then the third one
annotate that on my sheet.
the third one will just decide when it's necessary.
For the 1 or 2 highly secure, it says I only get 2.
Okay. So yeah, a senator and an Arachi executive.
We are all aware of the UN's.
Yeah, you are all aware of the backdrop of the real world.
All right. Inside, are there any? So there's no power to anything inside of the.
Powered off. There is power to the floor. It's just everything's shut down.
Okay. I'm gonna turn on anything that looks like it could hold information.
Okay. You boot them up. They are a generation old and their version of Windows, but they're still functional. It's not actually Windows, it's a Technocratic written operating system.
Okay.
Paradigm 3.0 when you're using Paradigm 3.1 currently in the constructs.
Whoa.
Well, so it's not that far behind then.
Yeah, it's only a year. It's a lot of
Funny,
security
it's-
updates, though.
Funny.
Well, if there are security concerns, then it feels like I should get a easier time hacking them.
That
That's
would
my
be
opinion.
correct if you needed to hack them, yes.
Do we need to hack them, or do we just have access?
Once all the machinery is booted up, you could just do the necessary conversions to jack people in to the virtual net, but that depends on what the party wants to do.
Okay.
They'd probably tell you to get started because it takes a minute to convert all the equipment.
So while he's getting started, or I would like to, since a year has passed and he is a bit better at correspondence than he was, to see if he can get more information about the code that Dr. Zaro put in, and see what other information might be able to be pulled from any of the.
So, you actually got that already in the last year. You personally did get that far.
Okay.
It is 10 to 15% of an incomplete. It is an incomplete 10 to 15% chunk of data. If you could replace the rest of the data, or at least 3/4 of it, you could decrypt it.
Well, that since nobody's been in here in a year, what I'm looking for to see if there was parts that we missed last time we were here.
Not on this computer. On the satellite array, yes. However, even with correspondence, you can't. The satellite array is separated from the internet. You would have to visit the satellite array, which is possible. There's a pilot in your party now. You would have to take a trip into space, land on the
I'm willing to
satellite.
fly us.
They call them satellites, but the relays are actually mini space stations.
I mean, why not?
Perhaps once we're done here, we can, if we still need to get more information, we can hit that up next.
However, I do want you to roll your error enlightenment anyways, against a difficulty of 5.
Against a difficulty of 5, that is 4 successes with a 10.
You definitely find some sus data that wasn't there last year. Something new. The code doesn't really make any sense to you until you stare at it for a minute because you got critical success and you realize that's because it's a strange cipher. And you figure out that the key is a Fibonacci sequence, which you then input. And it begins decrypting the data. And even once it's decrypted, it's just numbers and letters, and it makes no sense to you at that point. You probably have to hand that off to Nedry.
Oh, I got 3 points in Enigmas.
This would actually be you rolling your enlightenment against a difficulty of 5.
I will hand that information off.
It's your Arete.
Oh, 1 success, but I also rolled a 1.
What
No
was
10.
this?
It was a 9.
Okay. Roll it again. Difficulty 6 now.
2 successes, no 1s or 10s.
Okay. You determine that you're able to parse it out, and it's actually a geolocation. So you hand that back to Jacob. It's a physical location in the form of a geocache. Nobody's done that in 30 years. Because this world advanced differently than ours.
Was I able to see where it is, or just that it is that?
Yeah, you both get the location, and it's in Detroit, but it's way out on the outer fringes in a city park. And it's a very specific part of the city park, so you can locate it to like a 10 square foot area.
Okay. But still no real idea of what it is. It's just a location.
Somebody added a new piece of code to a place that nobody would visit except you in a year. and it's a physical location.
Hmm.
Clearly, someone is sending you a message to go there.
I do
Friendly.
not trust this.
I feel like that rifle was a good idea.
I agree.
I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen?
We all die.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
I don't
that's
think
gonna
death
happen
is the worst thing that
eventually.
happens in this universe.
It's good to
Nedry
have a
is
healthy outlook on
correct.
death.
I've been on a couple trips to Room 101, and I'm going to agree with Agent Nedry's statement there. We came here to see if we can track the trail, which is what our original goal was. We should, once he has that prepared so that we can enter, I think we should follow up on. We can always visit this location at a later time.
Excellent. Which means, I know we started a little late, but we're going to take our break right on time anyways so that we can jack in immediately after instead of jacking in and then stopping. So, to the audience, don't go anywhere. 10-minute break and we will be back to jack into the virtual web. And I'm sure there definitely won't be any Agent Smiths there gunning for Agent Jacob. But we'll be back in 10. And we've returned. Before the break, we were getting ready to jack into the virtual web. So let's begin. All right.
It's jacking.
As Kimchi told us during the break, we must get back to our jacking. So, there are multiple ways one can enter the virtual web. You'll have to decide which method you're going to take. Sensory visitation only, which is just an enhanced version of your consciousness going into the virtual web. It's clumsy and awkward, but very safe. Astral immersion, where you fully send your consciousness in, but your body stays in the real world. More dangerous, but you won't die. And holistic immersion, where you actually physically enter entirely. You could die there, you die for real. You'll be the most powerful in that last form.
Well,
Choose
for
your
sure.
fate.
For sure, the last one, of course.
Wait, if
Oh,
we're worried
yeah.
about going there and getting murdered there, wouldn't it be safer to do the first option? So then, our real bodies are here in a highly protected facility, and our consciousness is just over at this sketchy location that who knows who wants to meet us.
I didn't get this far in my life playing it safe.
I would agree
I
there.
don't know that we all need to choose the same one.
Nope, you can each choose. So, we'll start with Satori.
Going all in. I don't understand what the virtual web is, but all in.
Agent Hardigan.
I will. I'll go with the second option.
Consciousness
Where-
immersion.
Consciousness immersion. I believe with his paradigm, that's going to be more likely within the realm of things that he believes that he is capable of doing.
Okay. Theo.
Oh, does the two bodies, one soul thing affect our consciousness, or is that
No.
a separate?
No,
You're a battlefield medic. We
It
could use you.
would affect it if one of you decides to go all in and the other does not. Otherwise, no. Basically, if only one of you goes all the way in, yeah, it's immediately as if you were separated, because you are, by an entire dimension.
I'm guessing you want to go all in.
Go in. Well, wait.
All in as in, like, if we die there, we die in real life.
Die in the game.
Will I be able to bring my weapons?
Sort of. We'll get to that in a minute.
Understood.
Okay, if you want to go all in, then you're buying me dinner next dinner date, okay?
Understood.
All right.
Restrictions
And I
on
already
it?
know what Nedry and Dasha
Understood.
said. So everyone but Agent Hardigan is going all in. So I'm going to need 2 rolls from Agent Nedry. Nedry, first give me your enlightenment.
What?
Well, no, actually, no. We got to do your machinery first. First roll computers with bonus dice equal to your hacking secondary skill. Computers plus intelligence, difficulty 8. You are attempting to make it easier to cross dimensions in a technocratic space, where the gauntlet is at 10.
Do you remember how much I had in hacking? 'Cause
2.
I don't have that on my sheet. I had 2 in hacking. Okay, that's a lot of dice. That's 11 dice.
This is a trinary computer system, though, so if you're able to successfully make the conversion, things will be awesome. For those
Roll the
curious,
dice near the mic. All right. What's the DC again?
8.
8. Okay. That is 2 successes, no 1s or 10s.
Excellent. So now the difficulty to breach the gauntlet is down to 8. Because you're working with trinary computer equipment given to you by the Technocracy, that brings it down to 6, so it's a standard difficulty. For those curious, trinary computers between modern computers and... You would go modern computers, quantum computers, trinary computing, at least as far as our understanding of such things go. A trinary computer understands yes, no, maybe, what if, and what's the other one? Hold on, I gotta look. Yes, no, maybe, and or, instead of just yes and no. Meaning their capacity for data crunching is much greater.
Can a combination of correspondence to see data movement and entropy to interpret possibilities be used to make this easier for everybody involved?
Not to get there. Once you're there, yes, but that might only affect you. It depends on how it plays out. We'll see what happens getting there.
Lovely.
Because you don't have any understanding of how that works, you can't really contribute to it because it's outside of your practice.
Fair enough.
All right, Nedry. First, we got to pierce the gauntlet. So, again, go ahead and roll your Enlightenment versus a difficulty of 6.
Two successes.
Okay. On the first try, you get 2 people through. Who are you starting with? The order will matter. And you have to go last because you can't go first.
All right, I'm putting. Well, do I get to choose? I would. Put,
you do get to choose. You're in charge right now.
All right. Satori and Dasha, you're up.
Okay, roll it again. Same difficulty.
Two successes.
Next 2.
Send the married couple through.
Who's first? Thea or Soren?
Thea.
Okay, roll it again.
Two successes, but I rolled a 1 and no 10s.
Okay. One more time, just for yourself. You only need 1 success.
With feeling.
I did not get it.
Did you just fail or did you botch?
I just failed.
Difficulty 7, go again.
One success.
That's all you needed. Now let's see how good you were at this. Roll your Enlightenment against... What's your correspondence at?
Correspondence is at... Where did that go? Correspondence at 3.
Okay. Difficulty is 5. You will need 7 successes total. You get 4 rolls. Begin!
It's going to be 3 successes.
Good start.
And 3 more successes.
Good start. Go again. Good continuation.
And 2 successes.
1 more than necessary. This is good. So, how does jacking in work for your virtual adept? Is this the Matrix? Is this Tron? Is this some other vision you have of entering virtual space? Ready Player One? Now, this is for the people that are fully immersed, not for Agent Hardigan. He's just laying in a chair with VR gear over his head, drooling.
Okay. For everyone else, it's going to be... yeah, let's call it the Matrix.
All right. Straight up stabbing them in the back of the head. I like it.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, Nedry actually sets the chairs up in a circle with the mainframe that you came here to use in the center. bunches of wires are going to it, just like piles of cables. And then Nedry's got a little laptop on the stand next to him that all the cables are hooked into. Also, several of the cables are hooked directly into Soren, because Soren has 5 USB E outputs. How convenient.
As I'm setting this up, I feel like someone should like notify to actually get an actual security guard to like watch this floor and not just let us chill, because I think at this point Hardigan's body is just going to be here, and I don't like that. And I would know that going into this, and we want to make sure there's extra security for his body.
Okay. You call down to the main floor and a security guard comes up. You tell him not to enter the room unless he absolutely has to, because he's a sleeper. That'll create paradox. But he brings 2 or 3 of his most trusted guys with him to guard the room you're in.
Oh.
So, this one.
We're in a nightclub.
This is not nightclub music, actually.
Oh.
I would like to continuously mute it, though. Right, so those of you physically entering, go ahead and describe the process for us, Nedry. You are crossing dimensions, so it should be slightly unpleasant.
Okay, so as you're jacking in, it sort of feels, if you can think about the physics of a black hole, where you get like stretched out really thin. It's an incredibly painful process. And I failed to tell you that because I'm kind of an asshole. For those that haven't done it before, you wouldn't have known that this sort of stretching out as you enter the wires basically kills you momentarily, in so much as that sort of physics would. But then as you recollate inside the web, the pain is immediately gone, but there's sort of this aftertaste of uncomfortableness, and you probably are going to throw up, if that's a thing that can happen in the virtual web as a new Mage player, on your first couple times. I'm just going to sort of, Nedry's just going to be like, woo! He's done this before. It's sort of like a blast to him, a little bit of fun, a little roller coaster ride.
Yeah, virtual adepts live for this. That is accurate. Satori, roll computer plus intelligence, unless you have no computer.
Oh boy. Okay. Computer of 1, intelligence of 1. I'm rolling 2 dice.
Difficulty.
Yeah.
Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6. This can't possibly end poorly. Oh boy.
You are all looking for 2 or more successes for complete success on this roll.
Oh, jeez. That's 0 successes.
So Nedry, phase 2 of physically or even consciously entering the virtual web is your avatar. Who says you look like you? You can look like literally anything you want. What's your icon? However, Satori has no idea what they're doing, so Nedry, you get to craft Satori's icon to be literally anything you want.
Oh man. Oh,
anything
boy.
from Neon Cat all the way to Warcraft Orc with axe. It's completely up to you. Whatever you give the icon is the equipment Satori has.
Oh, okay. Definitely gonna go with sort of a, and those in the Discord will know I've been talking about Viking aesthetic stuff lately. Satori's gonna be a sort of a Viking, a sci-fi Viking, like techno barbarian type.
Okay.
With 2 power axes and but no ranged weapon.
Approved.
That's fine.
Dasha, same roll, same difficulty.
I have no computer.
All right, what's Dasha,
So
What's a computer?
yeah.
Was that the target I shot the other day? Or last game?
Dasha is going to end up as little gremlin-like creature, but happens to have a sniper rifle that's 3 times her own size. But somehow has the super strength to carry this thing around, and several throwing knives.
Is this an anime gremlin or a
No.
horror gremlin?
This is a horror gremlin.
All right. Agent Jacob, you get to roll at difficulty 7 because you're not fully immersed.
Oh, at least I have a dice pool.
Yes, at least you have a dice pool.
So that is 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice. So yes, you can pick your avatar to be whatever you want and whatever equipment you want, up to 4 pieces of equipment, and you have 2 points of armor, which can manifest however you want.
He is a young Agent J from the MIB movies.
I approve.
I definitely should have hypercrammed for this.
You have grasshopper, or do you have a real gun?
You said he gets 4 pieces of equipment?
Yep, plus 2 points of armor, or whatever you want that to look like. Could just be the suit, it doesn't matter.
So the armor is going to be the suit.
Okay.
He is going to have 2 pieces of equipment. He's going to have grasshopper and a big human-sized gun. He is going. He's gonna otherwise have his normal. He's gonna have his normal toys that he has. They're just going to function differently in the digital web.
Approved. So, Soren, guessing computer dots are not a big thing on your wish list, are they?
No.
So we're going to indulge Rachel. You appear as Hugo Weaving, and even Nedry doesn't know how that happened. Complete
Agent
with
Smith.
complete with the sunglasses and the suit, but yet real life Hugo Weaving hair, so it's like long and you got a beard and shit. And
Rachel, is your like new favorite hobby just fucking with me? Like, that's what it feels like.
However,
goes to Rachel for this session.
However, you do get a digital version of your rifle.
Perfect.
Thea, go ahead and roll. Computer plus intelligence difficulty 6.
Okay, and I have my int pool. I have nothing in computer.
Oh, then you don't get to roll then. Nedry, what does Thea look like?
Oh, and Jane rolled 2 1s and 2 2s.
Oh,
Even though she doesn't get to roll, that would be a bot.
I'm gonna roll myself, and I'm not gonna tell you why for this one.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, you end up showing up as your pet familiar thing with like laser eyes.
And last but not least, Nedry, roll for yourself. Only your difficulty is 5.
And I actually have a dice pool for this. 1, 2, 3, 4 cancels to 1. So I can stop counting. I've got a stupid amount of successes.
Same
What
as
do I
Agent
look-
Jacob, then 4 pieces of equipment, 2 points of armor.
Okay, 2 points of armor. What do I look like? I just had this in my head. Oh, I'm actually going to make this a little bit interesting, and my character is going to have sort of the abilities of sort of a standard automatic rifle, a sidearm, a med kit, and body armor, and then what would the 4th piece be? 4th thing would be some kind of combat knife. However, these things are going to show up in the virtual web as sort of a classic fantasy mage.
So are you a space wolf but Warhammer Fantasy?
No, I'm not even that. Not even the space wolf thing. No, not the Viking
That would be
aesthetic.
the
Just
Cult
like
of
a
Ulrich
classic.
in
Yeah,
Warhammer
I'm just
Fantasy.
thinking like freaking I'm Gandalf. And my
dope.
assault. Yeah, like my assault rifle is my staff and stuff. Just because he's having a grand old time with this right now. Because he's just gonna. He's probably won't get away with it in the long term, but he's just a little bit of a dick, so he's gonna do it.
All right.
A question.
The following rules should be noted and then I'll answer your question. Jacob, all of your actions are +1 difficulty above what I tell you, because you're not fully immersed. Dasha and Thea, yours are +2 because you're not on computer use. This is not your environment. Everyone else is normal except Nedry. You're 1 below every DC I say. Also, in this place, forces, dimensional science, and correspondence magic is entirely coincidental and will never gain paradox no matter how you make it look. Get as wild as you want with those 3 spheres. However, any attempt to use matter will automatically generate paradox as if it was vulgar before you even start. Also life, same thing.
Oh no!
So correspondence and what else is
Forces and dimensional science, which is spirit.
okay.
Also, dying here is called derezzing. Derezzing is when your avatar is wiped out. Those of you physically here can have 1 derez and reset back to the white space you're going to enter in before you're killed. Jacob gets 3 derezes, and even after the 3rd derez, Jacob just wakes up with a horrible hangover and some lost willpower points in the chair. Things you should be aware of that you would know, and when I say these terms, mostly for you, JT. The virtual web is made up of areas, including grids, known as sheep pens in the jargon of netizens. That's where the real internet is, divided and segregated from the rest of the virtual web. That's the human internet, so you can get in and out of the real world that way. White space is empty areas that haven't been formatted yet. It's just big cubes of emptiness that you just kind of float through. Haunted web areas are areas that have experienced whiteouts or malicious programs or other terrible side effects where digital ghosts exist and things get real weird and creepy. An area that's been whited out means it was completely derez and everything inside of it was destroyed and killed. Catastrophic events cause that. There are also C sectors, which are constrained sectors, meaning they follow a specific protocol. So if you trip into an MMO, which I'm sure Dwayne remembers from our other Technocracy game, you follow the rules of that MMO. In that game, they had to make through Minecraft. And last but not least, you have Dead Space, where an area was completely destroyed by an outside effect. You shouldn't go through those unless you absolutely have to, because they're wildly dangerous and unpredictable. You can have attacks that can affect you here that wouldn't affect you in the normal world. Is one way that you can be derez isn't just to be destroyed or physically damaged. People with digital net skill can also attempt to format you, wipe and reload. So look out for that. Those of you with no computer points, you are highly susceptible to that. You have no anti-malware software on your icons. You are at the mercy.
Everything I see.
You are at the mercy of the web. Yes.
Yay.
Except for Nedry, who can try to throw up a firewall real quick or some other cool effect. Any questions on any of that?
And we damn know that Gandalf's throwing up an actual literal wall of fire.
But yeah, the 3 kinds of web are virgin, formatted, and corrupt. Corrupt is the dead space you should avoid. Virgin means it's been wiped but hasn't been reset. And formatted is normal space. So when I say you're in a white space, you're in virgin web. It's just empty, waiting for construction. That's where you arrive. You arrive in a white space. It's basically a circular area from which it's like a wheel spoke, where there are at least 18 different hallways you can follow to go deeper into the virtual web. It doesn't matter which one you pick, Nedry. You're picking the direction you want to go. You just say, I go to that place, and that's the hallway you take, because you're the guide here. Occasionally, you'll have to make rolls akin to survival to not get lost.
How does this mesh up with like the real world? So if we entered through this computer,
Not at
this
all.
Okay, it's completely. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've traversed to an entirely separate dimension that is connected to the real world, but is not like a shadowy reflection of it or anything.
Okay.
You're in a part of a hard drive that has no data. Is how to picture it in your head. However, there are paths to get to where the data is.
Gotcha.
First thing you notice, and it freaks all of you except Nedry out a little bit, and Jacob, because he knows he's immersed, is you're not breathing. And that causes a little bit of panic, but you adjust after a minute. You're not breathing, you can't smell anything, you can't taste anything, but you can feel stuff, including temperature. It's kind of cold here.
So my question is, because I am a owl leopard thing, I'm assuming I don't have thumbs.
Oh no, the front paws of your creation do have opposable thumbs. They actually have 6 fingers. 5 fingers and a thumb.
Huh.
The back feet are like owl talons. The wingspan is about 5 feet wide because it's a snowy owl.
Oh,
You don't have a
convenient.
beak, but you do have the feline face with the tooth you can bite shit to attack it.
I can still speak, or
Yes, and you do have a prehensile tail. Yeah, if you actually train, as in add points to your familiar, it can speak too.
Oh.
It just hasn't been trained.
You're also in a digital environment where
Those rules don't apply, right?
Anything
I don't
possible.
know how much stuff carries over, but
Literally, it was just aesthetically. That's
Yeah.
what I
as,
chose.
as
It's-
soon as they
The icon's a shell.
transform-
On the inside, it's still your consciousness. So technically, you're not even talking to each other. You're mentally communicating,
Okay.
theoretically.
As soon as Thea sees her form, she's just gonna look
I-
over at Soren and just like hop over, just do a little wiggle at him.
I'm going to attempt to, using my device as a sort of tracker, to see if there's any digital footprints from the last people who entered from where we entered.
All right, let's do that. Go ahead and how are you translating this in your mind? So you're
In my mind, I am using my phone that as one of the devices that came with me to scan for signatures of anything else that would have came through the same point of entry as we did.
okay. Technology plus enlightenment dice, difficulty 6. Set up that pool however the sheet will let you. Many effects here will use enlightenment dice in place of an attribute.
Technology and enlightened sciences.
Yep, difficulty 6.
Seven, 6, 6, 3, 3, 1.
2 successes. That's enough. They didn't wipe their tracks because they thought the world was going to end, and it basically did. So you were able to pick up on the path they took using their digital footprint and the data you picked up, the piece of the code you have.
Okay, do I get any information about how many? Or
6.
just that? Okay.
3
And I
avatars, and then the 3 engineers were actually brought through as data packets, meaning they were just dragged along as whatever you want to imagine, duffel bags, whatever.
Okay. I will report this back to the group and indicate which direction the signal seems to lead us towards.
Nedry, I'd like you to roll Enigmas plus Enlightenment, difficulty 5. Now don't forget, when I give you a DC, you're adding and removing your own modifiers. So if you have a penalty or a bonus, I'm not counting it in. So that way I don't have to remember all your different numbers that way.
Enigmas and intelligence, you said?
Nope, Enlightenment.
Oh,
A
enlightenment.
lot of roles in Digital Web won't use an attribute for me. to represent the foreignness of it, the alienness.
And one more time, you said DC 5 or 6?
DC 5 base plus whatever modifiers you have.
Is 1, 2, out, 3 success.
You have a moment of epiphany. Wait. What if I use those geocache coordinates here? And it does give you a location on the digital web that is not the city park in Detroit. A place you could get to from here.
Hey, folks. What if we use the GPS coordinates in here?
That might work.
Does it give us a place?
It's a pen.
No.
It's a, well, you wouldn't you wouldn't use slang with them. It is a C sector grid.
Oh.
Meaning it's somewhere in the real internet that has specific rules. And that's because it is some kind of MMO. You can't tell which one.
MMO
Let's
RPG?
go.
I'm ready for this. Hopefully, it's a fantasy MMO. Well,
Yes.
actually, the rules might change anyway. And we might
If it is a fantasy MMO, then this
So-
would be the supreme weapon.
As I sort of like figure out this information, I'm just sort of being like, I know this sounds weird and maybe a little childish, but who here has played a video game before?
I still play video games. Well, I mean, if you count Animal Crossing as video games.
Satori is like embarrassed to admit that he's played video games. It
Does
looks like,
Tetris count?
you know what? No, it doesn't. Not in this case. Not trying
Slowly
to gatekeep.
lowers his hand.
Yeah, like not trying to gatekeep gaming, but not in this context. The two of us.
Does
So-
farming sims count?
Closer.
Do the training simulation programs in the construct count?
Those are very much like MMOs.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Then yes.
Tori raises his hand again.
Soren just plays those for fun.
All right, I think we got this, folks.
Rachel is correct.
What did Rachel say?
Video games are a great tool for social control. Wait, what? I didn't say that.
Oh no.
The
I gotta get in
Technocracy
chat
knows
to
this.
monitor what Rachel's up to.
All media is propaganda.
That's also correct.
This is true.
So is that statement that the media is propaganda? It's propaganda.
Because it's media now. So, do you want to head... Those are in two different directions. Are you going to do one then the other or split the party? The trail is farther away than the dead drop.
Wait, sorry. Wait, there's two places? I'm missing something.
Yeah, you came here to chase down the kidnapped engineers.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whereas the geolocation spot is closer. So you could split the party or go one at a time. It's up to you.
I will come out and say this. I hunt down things before I was brought in to the Technocracy. Before the NWO found me again, I was out chasing down people. I think my skills are going to be best served chasing down these engineers to see what information that they may have.
And so much as I believe in fate and luck, the avatar and icon that I have chosen means that I feel strongly like I must enter the C sector.
I look ridiculous.
Accurate, but irrelevant.
Yes, you do.
And I am completely out of my element.
I agree
So
with you there.
I will be useful in either direction.
In a moment of ego, it was like, this is my space. I'm going that way, towards the C sector. Don't want to tell anyone else what to do, but I'm probably your best chance of making it out of here alive.
Jacob, do you follow him or do you immediately follow the trail? That'll determine the fate of the rest of the group.
I mean, I'm assuming since I did not enter through the physical method, that Jacob will have some idea of how to get out on his own.
Yeah, you actually are still somewhat in control of your meat space. You could pull the rig off.
All right. Yeah. So
it would hurt, but it would still get out.
I'm here to track down these. The mission is to track down. This is what the Technocracy wants me to do. This is what I'm going to do.
There it is. Satori, who are you following? Side mission or main mission?
So, the worst thing that could happen is that we died. And we already died, so the worst thing has already happened.
It's very zen.
So with that,
Very zen.
I will be following the wizard.
Dasha.
I've always wanted to say that. Yeah, Dasha is totally out of her wheelhouse, and looks ridiculous, not knowing what she is, but she does have a gun, and feels that she would be best utilized shooting something. And she will follow Nedry.
Soren and Thea, you can go different ways here if you want. You won't be that split up unless Jacob decides to keep going without waiting for Nedry to catch up. After a certain point. So Thea, who are you following?
Thea's completely out of her element. She doesn't know anything about computers, and she can't use her powers here because she specializes in...
Oh, you can. It's just it's dangerous.
She's one to play it on the safe side.
So that would mean that at this moment, it's less likely that Jacob's going to get into a physical fight.
Yeah, so she's probably going to go with Jacob. And just puppy dog eyes Soren to come with her, because...
Is Jacob pursuing the primary objective?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I will be pursuing the primary objective.
3 and 3, I like it. Good.
We have split the party.
So, first we're going to deal with or at least we're going to kind of mix it up a little bit. First we're going to deal with Nedry's group. We need to switch to this. Because you arrive at your target destination, Nedry. And you realize what it is before anyone else does, but you're like, shit, can't stop now. You don't say anything to them unless you choose to exercise your player free will until they're all inside. This is not the game you thought it was. So you going to tell them, or are you going to keep it secret till they get inside?
Did you send me something? I don't know.
Nope, not yet.
My character knows, but I don't know yet.
Right. Would your character tell the rest of the group? This just got way more dangerous. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So Nedry confidently leads you into the MMO, where Nedry immediately ceases to be a wizard. Dasha ceases to be a gremlin, and Satori ceases to be whatever Satori was. I forgot already.
Muscular Viking man.
Because you are now a 3-man team in Apex Legends. Pick your characters.
Oh God, yeah, because I'm really Apex Legendy.
I've heard the name.
It's a
Apex
PvP
Legends.
shooter, and it's a brutal one.
Yeah, let me look up a
like
character right
a
quick.
A lot of running, sliding, and shoot. Very mobile shooter.
No, what's it
Yeah.
called?
Titanfall.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, it is about.
Yeah, it's a battle royale.
You've doomed us. We are doomed.
So you can look up the game and pick your character, which will have some effect on what happens. Or you could just ask Harry who he thinks each of you should be.
I haven't played much Apex, but if I remember, there's a robot dude and a lady that can like do portals and shit. And there's a toxic, smelly dude.
Yeah,
These are all accurate, yes.
Bangalore, the professional soldier, Bloodhound, the technological tracker, Caustic, the toxic trapper, Crypto, the surveillance guy, Fuse, the bombastic explosive guy,
Gibraltar.
yeah, Gibraltar, the shield dude, Horizon, Gravity Manipulator, Lifeline, the Medic, Pathfinder, the Robot, Octane, Crackhead.
I will be going for Octane with the tactical choice that I can probably get away with magic this way if I understand how that character played in the game.
I'm going to leave my choice up to the audience.
Voodoo Arcade, are you
yes.
watching? If so, JT wants to know which Apex Legends character he should be. Voodoo Arcade plays this game occasionally.
I would imagine if Dasha was choosing, she would go with Loba.
You are choosing.
I mean,
Die in the game.
if it wasn't
Die.
Kimchi choosing, if it was Dasha choosing, Dasha would choose Loba.
So make sure you pull up basic information on your character so you can tell me what actions you take when it's your turn. Looks like only one audience member is answering you, Nedry. Stolen Fires. Tell JT who he should be. Or Machete. We'll give them a moment while we jump back to Jacob and his little crew. Jacob. Go ahead and make me another Technology plus Enlightenment roll against a difficulty of 7.
Okay, this is gonna be fun.
Did my link actually work, or did a bot delete it?
Your link
Deleted.
worked in Discord, but it probably killed it in the thing. I'll put it in the thing.
Okay.
Copy.
Nobody knows anything about Apex.
So with the increased difficulty of +1 that I have,
That'd be
and
an
the
8,
difficulty of 7, the 8 that I did get is counteracted by the 1 that I got. So
Okay.
that's going to be 0 successes.
So,
That 7, 6, and 3, and 6 don't do me any good.
you don't get lost. That's not what that was for. What does happen, though, is you guide them down one of the data spokes, right? And you guide them deeper into the virtual web. And eventually, you take them through a C sector that's actually just web space, not like a video game. You take them through 2 grids, and then ultimately, this new thing of the music muting itself is not cool. Ultimately, you get to the edge of a haunted web grid, which you know you're going to have to go through. But that's not the problem. The problem is you couldn't figure out where the access point is. Then you did finally find it, and you're like, this is definitely the access point. And you go to open the door, and it had malware security on it, and it flags you as malware. Which immediately results in anti-malware bots being distributed to your location, which manifest as cyborg Dobermans with glowing red eyes and steel teeth, 5 of them charging your group.
And I, by any chance, use correspondence to redirect the location that they are to pass off the information that I'm malware to someone else.
On your turn, yes, this is where everyone must roll initiative.
Oh,
How do you roll initiative?
D10 plus your dex and
Wits.
wits.
So a single D10 plus your dots and dex and wits.
Are
That's great.
and it's every roll that I make is going to be with the increased difficulty.
So that's a 17.
No, you guys don't have to penalize your initiative rolls.
7 plus 9 is 16.
Mhm.
And I see we got an answer for Nedry, who is crypto. All right, Satori, what's your initiative?
My initiative is a 17.
Dasha,
12.
Thea,
I got a 16.
Soren,
17.
Jacob,
16.
And Nedry.
Sorry, I completely missed. I was talking to chat. I'm rolling initiative for something.
Single D10 plus your dots and wits and dexterity.
Sorry. It's gonna be 2 plus. She was closed. 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 5 is 11.
Tia and Jacob, what are your dexterities? No, your wits, sorry, in the virtual web.
3.
What's yours, Thea?
Jane, what's your dex? Your wits, I mean.
My wits is 4.
Okay, Satori and Soren, same question.
My wits is 2.
My wits is 3.
Ooh. Doggo's rolled well.
That's never good.
Team A did not, so that's promising.
Wait, Team Mage did not? Oh.
For the
Oh,
PvP
no.
people, it's a battle royale. There's 4 teams on the field. Team B rolled really well. Team C are noobs and have a penalty. Okay. Not as noob as you, though. Alright. Team B goes first and immediately captures a location with specialized equipment in the game. Satori!
Ah, yeah, okay. I'm not entirely sure what to do here.
There are... Who did you follow? I forgot.
I'm in Apex Legends over here.
Oh, that means you're deciding for your team. So, do you move towards another team to take them out, or do you move towards a strategic location?
And let's remind Satori what our characters are, because I'm playing a more of a support character, so I don't have a ton of. At least my brief reading of this is a support hacker type. So probably would prefer tactical position over direct combat right away.
I'm a little bit of both.
And you do know, Satori, that you can cheat.
Indeed, we can.
However, you'll get banned, but I mean, it might be worth it. Your goal is to find out what that geospot is, not to win the game.
Is the geospot like literally like a position on the Apex map?
It is, but to get there, you got to jump through some other positions. So I'll tell you, when you get to where you can actually get directly there, I'll tell you. Otherwise, all paths take the same amount of time, except attack other teams. That obviously doesn't move you at all. So attack another team or move.
Take a tactical position.
Tactical position A, B, or C?
Call it C.
Okay, yeah, because
We'll
to
do
you
C.
they're all the same, right? Right. Soren, metal dogs are charging you.
That's an easy solution.
Okay.
Are
you
you
gonna-
Dex firearms?
Are you just gonna shoot your rifle or do something enlightened science? It's up to you.
How many dogs are there?
5.
5. Time for enlightened sciences then.
What spheres do you have?
I have 4 dots in spirit, in dimensional science, and then 3 in forces.
Okay, right. You're that guy in both games. Okay. Yeah, and for anyone who didn't catch last Sunday, Harry won Kertamin. But only
I
because
did.
Steve cheated.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Cheated or just
cheated, but he didn't really cheat. He upset the odds. He introduced chaos into the equation. Yeah. Did not cheat.
Wait, I'm in Apex, or am I in...
No, you were at the entrance to the Ghost Grid trying to gain access. Jacob accidentally triggered malware.
Oh, okay, so it's malware.
So...
And shit can still paradox here.
Yes, but neither forces nor dimensional science will, no matter how wild you get. You're only limited by your sphere dots. So
Absolutely.
Dimensional science here translates to the ability to either try to take control of the dogs or to summon other things to your aid. Forces just means making your gun hit harder.
I'm gonna try to summon like a mech to fuck them up. Is that
Okay.
a possibility with 4 dots?
It is with 4 dots, yes. So go ahead and roll Enlightenment against a difficulty of 5.
That's my enlightened potential.
That's your arete on your sheet.
Oh, perfect. Yep. Okay, so that's 3 out of 4 successes. A 9, an 8, a 9, and a 2.
3 is enough. At the end of the round, a mech will appear. You can actually see it charging towards your position. But because you were just like in your head, I need a mech. Nearest mech, come help me. You pulled an NPC character from the nearest BattleTech game grid. So this is a legit Orion storming towards you. It's like
Oh, that's so awesome.
it's like 100-ton heavy mech. It's like 50 feet tall. Okay.
Well, that'll do the trick.
The doggos then go. And the doggos decide that Soren looks yummy. We'll start with him. That die is gone forever. How much armor do you have?
Ooh,
2.
that's just my natural body.
Yes. Roll your soak. Stamina.
Okay, let's see it.
Your avatars can soak everything unless I tell you they can't because they're not physical bodies. Not really.
Okay. Okay, do 10s explode?
We changed it to it's just 2 successes because it's easier.
Oh, okay, so then that's 3 successes.
First dog leaps on you and you throw it off and it doesn't manage to do any damage. It just kind of tears at your synthetic skin.
Mm-hmm.
Roll it again. -1
Got it.
die.
1 success.
Second, and the same thing happens with the second dog. Third dog would like to eat Jacob's face.
Third dog, you said?
Not
Oh,
you, not you, correct.
okay.
What kind of armor
perfect.
do you have, Jacob?
So I have my meat suit armor and my digital web armor.
No, meat suit armor does not apply here.
Okay. But then how did Harry have armor?
I
Well,
am
you got
middleman.
you got something because you were
Oh, okay.
you rolled well on your thing. So I think you have 2 points, unless you have something else.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first dog you reject with authority. The second dog, roll again. Or, I'm sorry, roll your stamina.
Stamina?
Yep, you're soaking.
Okay. So what are we? Regular difficulty?
Yep, 6.
All right. So that's 2 10s, an 8, and a 1.
It's good, because they actually got 5 successes. So you negate all of the damage the dog would have done. They do not manage to derez any part of your avatar. But the last dog is going to attempt to eat Thea. Thea has no armor, so roll your stamina, Thea. Difficulty 6.
Jane has 3 stamina, yes? Right there, stamina.
Oh, okay.
So 2.
2 successes.
You are knocked down and take 1 level of damage as the dog tears at your avatar and little bits of you pixelate and disappear.
Uh-oh.
It's your turn. You are pinned by the metal dog.
Soren! Okay. I do have 2 dots and forces, so from my understanding of the title forces, I'm hoping that I can commit the big yeet on the dog that is trying to eat me.
You could, in fact, try to kick it off you with telekinetic energy or extra force, yes.
Yeah, I want to just mentally just cuffling.
So roll your Arete versus difficulty 5.
Okay. Okay. That's the point. Okay. Difficulty 5. So
Yep.
that is 2 successes.
And then roll strength plus brawl against difficulty 6.
Oh boy. That is a fail.
So then you only get the 2 successes from the spell,
Yeah.
but you don't yeet it out of the area, but you do kick it off of you, so you're not pinned anymore, and it slides across the ground. Jacob, do your thing. Difficulty 6, enlightenment roll, or yes, enlightenment.
Difficulty 6.
Yep, plus whatever your modifiers.
10, 8, 7, and a 1. So that's 2 successes.
That's 3. 10, 8, 7, 1. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's 3 successes to and I want to transfer the malware signal that's going off to whichever one of the security dogs seems like it's doing in the best condition at the moment.
The security dogs have the equivalent of counter magic on them. However, you can send it against the nearest next netizen that isn't your party. And 3 successes makes 3 of the dogs fall for it. Only 2 remain. 3 of them just take off going that way. You don't know who towards? You're a good technocrat, so you don't care. It's not your problem.
Works for me.
Dasha. You reach the location. You all slide in all dramatic, like, just in time to realize C was already overtaken, and covering fire happens, and you roll behind the nearest object to not get shot. What do? There's already a team there.
Okay.
It's a team effort, and I can give help and suggestions since this is all 3 of us, or is this completely?
Oh yeah, you can talk to each other as a free action.
You could teleport into the team while holding my drone, and then EMP blast, and we'd blow my ultimate as an EMP blast, disabling all their shields and probably weapons, I think. And I'm sure there's going to be some Apex Legend player in here who's going to yell at us for
You can't
completely
use ultimates yet.
or something.
You can in fact do that, but you'd have to wait till Nedry's turn.
Okay.
So
That's
I
just
throw
one
myself
idea.
underneath it. Yeah, one
You
after me.
You just gonna hold your action?
Yeah, I'll hold it till he is done.
Okay. Team C goes next, and they're the ones shooting at you.
Oh, great.
Roll your stamina, Dasha. Difficulty 6, plus your modifiers. Also, Hot Dog Wizard's giving everyone a bonus willpower point.
Oh, joy. I might need it. Since I'm rolling difficulty 8.
Roll yours, Nedry. Twice.
Difficulty 6, you said?
Yep. And Satori, I'm going to need you to roll Athletics plus Dex. Difficulty 6 plus modifiers.
Ah, perfect.
I got 1 success.
So, your opposite teleports into where you are, shanks you like 6 times real fast, teleports back out, and you take 3 health levels of damage. Large chunks of your gremlin avatar disappear, except it's not a gremlin right now.
Oh, wonderful.
What'd you get, Nedry?
On my first roll, I got 2 hits, including a 10. And on my second roll, I got one hit.
Okay. So what happens is 2 of the other team flank you and just start shooting the shit out of you because they figured out you're the leader. You take 1 health level of damage. You actually manage to roll behind cover, and your cover is destroyed, so that won't protect you unless you move later in the action, but it saved you that time. And what'd you get,
Real quick.
Satori? Yeah, go ahead.
Satori got 3 successes.
Go ahead, Nedry.
Is that just mark one box of bruised? Is that how
Yes,
that works?
correct. Satori,
3 successes.
grenade lands next to you, and you're like, what? No, and you throw it back, which is not how the game works at all. You are now officially cheating. But it lands next to the guy who threw it, who goes, what? And then explodes. Okay. Nedry, it's your turn, which means the Dasha Nedry plan can take place.
Except they're all spread out.
No, Nedry didn't move. He just slid behind
No, the
cover.
enemy is, though.
3 of them are still in one spot. So Shanker McShanky Pants is the only one who left the team.
Oh, okay. So, do we
So
wanna do this?
of the 3 in one spot, one is heavily damaged because of the grenade, but they're all still in one spot.
It's up to you. Sure, it's your thing. But just so you know, if I have to make any rolls, I'm already at a +3 to my difficulty.
Does she get to teleport for free? Because that's not an ultimate. or,
In-game
like, how you're
powers
gonna-
do not require rolls. Your actual character powers will just do what the game says it should do.
Yeah, that's my tactical abilities. I can do that whenever.
Okay. I want to cheat really hard here.
Okay.
And I want to turn my EMP into something that will actually kill the other characters and not hurt us.
Okay,
So what?
roll your Arete against a difficulty of 5, including, and then your modifiers, which means it's a 4 for you.
Or for me, and so that would be 2 successes.
Okay. So what actually happens is you use correspondence, and you pull out the in-game EMP, which then turns into a landmine. Somebody in some other game is looking, going, "What just happened? Where'd this EMP come from? What am I supposed to do with this?"
Good shot.
Call of Duty shooter. Someone's very confused right now. And yes, unfortunately, Dasha does have to roll. Athletics plus Dex. Difficulty 5, so 8.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Can I use my free willpower and give it to Dasha?
No,
that I
but
got?
Dasha can use her own free willpower.
I actually have some quotes from last week.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
one
the one you
one-
just got just now.
Oh, I just got one now?
You can only use one per roll, but it's an automatic success.
If I roll a success.
No, it overrides a crit fail.
Oh, does it?
You still get one success no matter what when you spend willpower.
Okay, then I will, I will spend the one that I got from the party last week.
Let's go ahead and roll it and see if you do better than 1.
Yeah, because I'm rolling 2 dice. Yeah, exciting.
And Rachel says, tomorrow Kotaku publishes cheating is rampant in Apex Legends. When will they fix it? And the article is strangely pulled from publications 5 minutes later.
So the negatives on the health, is that increases difficulty, or is that 1 less dice? Or is that only for...
I assume that's why you thought you had a difficulty of 3, because that is how it works.
Okay.
That's why it's 8. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't screwing myself. I got 1 success.
2 successes. You actually lob the landmine in the correct spot, and it lands in the correct spot facing up the correct way and blows the shit out of all 3 of them.
Oh, the sheet actually takes away a dice.
Stabby McStabber gets really mad and logs out.
Haha.
However, he reported you. And somewhere in the game, an admin reses. You better hurry. Okay. Team A is blowing the crap out of Team B. That's not your problem right now. So, we're back to Team B, who is blowing the crap out of Team A. So it's Satori's turn. Nobody is currently attacking you. You can move to the next location that gets you closer to your goal.
We'll just let them fight for now. maybe if another grenade comes flying towards us, we can throw it back.
I did love how you did that.
Now, I'm going to need of Satori, Dasha, and Nedry. Whoever has the best stealth plus wits, roll it as against difficulty 6 plus your modifiers.
I have a dice pool of 5, but I don't. Can I roll even though I don't have anything in stealth?
Yes.
I have 6 and a specialty.
With the worst penalty. I love it. Satori?
I would have 5.
It's you, Dasha. So,
What's the difficulty?
well, you're at +1 because you're not used to the net, but you're at -1 because of the specialty, plus your injury penalties. So if the sheet's taking away dice,
It's taking away dice.
then you don't have to increase the difficulties, which is 6.
Okay.
This is an opposed roll. You're trying to avoid the moderator.
I guess I should click on some stuff, huh? Before I roll it. You said wits and stealth, right?
Yep.
Boop, boop. Roll them dice. 1 success, because I rolled 2. 1 success.
Okay. The moderator got 4. So, we'll deal with that in a minute. Soren.
Well, the mech's there, yeah?
The mech is arriving this turn, but there's still 2 dogs.
Okay, well, then it's time to shoot.
Firearms plus dex.
Cast gun.
Firearms plus dex plus add your enlightenment as bonus dice.
Oh boy. We ready for 14d10? Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage.
That
This
is
great.
What is that? Strength plus?
No, it's going to be the base gun, which is going to be... how many dots do you have in forces?
3.
So we're going to... That's 6 here. Plus successes on the attack.
So, oh boy.
15.
More dice than I rolled to hit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's enough to destroy both dogs. So the doggos don't get a turn except they're tearing apart some poor guy. Thea doesn't need to take an action then, so we'll skip Thea for now. Because the mech will be able to open that door for you now.
Oh, yay.
Which means, Jacob, you can do something or just wait for the mech. It's going to blow right through that door.
So with this being virtual space and not meat space, certain spells might work, or abilities, spheres might work differently and be able to be used for healing.
Yes, and in digital space, forces and correspondence heals.
Okay. How much correspondence would I need to heal somebody?
3 to do others, 2 to do yourself.
Okay, well then, since I did not take any damage, I'm going to see, is there anything I can do that would...
You can remove their injury penalties at 2.
Nobody in our group is injury penalties, from my understanding.
Yeah, your group's doing really well.
Yep. Can I use correspondence to get an better idea of my surroundings to remove the injury penalty?
On who?
Not the injury penalty. For that, the increased penalty that I have, is there anything that I can do?
Yes, go ahead and roll your
Probability.
enlightenment against difficulty of 6. Just 6, don't modify it.
Oops, sorry, that was the wrong roll. Hold on. That is the correct roll, and that is a 10, a 7, a 3, and a 5. So
You have no more penalties. Okay. Dasha.
Yes.
So, you can't defeat an admin. You can either try to misdirect the admin or sacrifice yourself to the admin and give up one of your 2 reses, the one that won't permakill you. You will de-res and reappear back in the white space and have to wait for someone to come fetch you.
Oh, screwed. If I'm gonna get de-resed anyways.
If you didn't sacrifice yourself and you didn't succeed at evading, and everyone else did the same, then it would randomly roll which of you. Yes, it wouldn't be all of you though.
I mean, I'll try and evade. Should be able to.
Same roll, which you're really good at.
Do
Stealth
some
plus
mad hacks.
Stealth plus Dex, difficulty 6, whatever, and then your modifier. So
Okay. Now we're gonna get some wonky here. So since I'm using wits, I'm gonna try and use some intuition here.
I will
Would that
allow
work
wits
in
plus
this?
stealth. Yes.
Oh yes. Still 6.
Yep.
Let's not die. 2 successes. Man, rolling
He
like
is splitting
garbage
his
tonight.
dice pool now, though, so you're okay. You evade detection,
Oh God.
which means now it's his turn. So he's going to randomly pick between Nedry and Satori. High or low, Nedry?
Hi.
Satori, I'm going to need you to try to roll wits plus stealth to see if you can outwit the guy.
Oh, boy.
Difficulty 6.
That's 2 successes.
He got 4.
Hi, guys.
Satori is de-resed and reappears in white space. Jacob, you are aware of this, and so is Nedry because you're connected now. So somebody can go teleport him to you, guide him back, whatever, when you resolve the rest of this. You're not dead. Next time you de-res, you'll be dead, though. For real dead. On the plus side, you're fully healed when you re-res. Oh, and you don't have computer, do you?
I have a dot of computer.
You can try to roll it again, plus your intelligence, to see if you can force your own avatar, or if you reappear as the Axe Warrior again.
Difficulty 6.
5 now, you're adjusting.
I'm learning. That's 2 successes.
You could pick your own avatar.
I will be Satori. Will be myself.
It is appropriate. Boring, but appropriate.
I'll be me, but more muscular. You know, I'll be Satori, but more muscular. There you go. Not better, but not boring. Not
Well,
as boring.
Satori would pick the logical choice, not the exciting choice. So that's
You know, yeah.
okay. That leaves Nedry.
What are my options right now? What's going on around us? One logged off and reported, so there's 2 left on the team in front of us.
Yep, and you can make the final move to the geolocation zone now, since technically you're running the team.
Okay. And that would just teleport us there, and that would be another cheat.
It would move you there. Dasha is hiding behind whatever, trying not to get
Oh, boy.
unmodded.
Yeah, Dasha, I'm sorry. Your skill set is not great in this situation, so I'm gonna bail. Good luck. And I'm gonna do a wall hack and teleport to the location.
You get there.
Who am I rolling for that? Oh, I get it.
You don't have to roll there yet.
All right.
You get there, and you discover it's a dead drop. Good old-fashioned spy dead drop. There's like a bench, and underneath the bench is like a taped manila envelope. and you pull it out and you open it, and it is a digital representation of half of a secondary location, which you have enough enigmas to not need to roll. If you go to the physical location, you'll get the other half.
Okay. How does
Someone
that
is trying to real like James Bond like get you to meet them somewhere.
This is like Riddler shit.
Yeah.
Is this does this information sort of like stay with me if I bail from the game now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The data will remain in your head and on your gear, your physical meat space gear.
Okay. Then I am gonna log out of the game if that's allowed.
What actually will happen is at the end of the round, the mech appears, blows open the firewall block to the ghost space. At which point, Jacob can then roll Enlightenment difficulty 4.
Yeah, if everybody's ditching, can somebody hit me up over ICQ and like let me know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be like, if you want to go, you can go, and then.
Well, this is gonna depend on what Jacob gets.
I don't know if she knows how to go. I don't know if she knows enough how to leave.
I'm gonna spend that willpower that I was so kindly gifted earlier when we all got to make that 3 successes. 9, 4, 3, 2.
You're able to notify every member of the team where you're at in digital space and that they should meet up, because if you continue to stay split up from here, it's gonna get real dangerous, because you're going to somewhere super dangerous now, going into ghost space. So Nedry, you can then roll. Oh, go ahead.
Instead of, so I'm able to locate where all they are. Since I have correspondence, can I just summon them all?
Only Nedry can do that because he's got 3 dots, or anyone else with 3 dots of correspondence. So Nedry, I'm gonna need you to roll Enlightenment 4 times.
Okay.
Difficulty 5 each time.
With my modifier, so 4.
Yes.
Okay. That is 1 success.
Dasha is teleported to Jacob.
That is 2 success, including a 10.
Satori is teleported to Jacob, and only 3 rolls, not 4. I counted wrong. 1 more.
And that is 1 more success.
You are teleported to Jacob.
Okay.
You transport everyone's data to that.
And I get a bonus. So can I get an extra? I got a bonus in chat.
It's not going to help any. That's just pass fail.
Oh, okay.
Failure would have meant you would have dumped their avatar in a random location, and that would have been awesome. So now, all 6 of you, including the freshly Satori, who is no longer axe-wielding berserker, all stand looking at each other and staring off into the opening to ghost space, which looks like if somebody went into Minecraft and just lit TNT everywhere and then turned half the lights off, but in random blocks, not all in the same half and half, and then spawned
a bunch of Endermen.
Endermen everywhere. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, only less pixelated. You're going to have to traverse through there to follow them, which will have to happen next session, because we've reached the end of this one.
Oh.
It's pretty good though. Only one D-res.
And it's me.
Technically, it's Dwayne's fault for not taking one for the team.
Well, I mean, technically, it's not even my fault for I wasn't cheating.
It was a group effort.
Wait, it's not your fault because you weren't cheating, or it's your fault because you weren't cheating?
Rico charges. It was Rico charges here.
I'm useless in here, so you can just blame me for everything.
I really
Definitely
remember
out of
this
your element in
betrayal.
here, yes. Hold on one second.
But now that I remember some of my stuff, I actually could have used it, and it probably would have helped me out. I wouldn't have sucked as bad.
So before we get to end credits thing, Tyler, this is probably like top 3 games I've had with Vorpal Tales, and I've been here for 4 months now. This was a great time tonight, and I just want to give you a huge props for jamming.
Thank you.
Storytelling.
You get to do it at least one more time, too. Maybe 2. Okay. So, we've reached the end of our chapter, but not the end of our story. We will, of course, return next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, viewers. Hopefully, all of our agents will be able to avoid Room 101 in the meantime. Dasha, not so sure.
Oh, I'll be here. No more birthdays.
We're worried about all of the paradox
They're
your gear seems to be creating, however. Beyond that, though, we thank you for journeying with us, and we hope to see you again next week. Don't forget to click follow on Twitch and subscribe and hit the bell on YouTube. We appreciate you all. Special thanks tonight go to our patrons and our Twitch subscribers. You help make our quality better, our cosplay sharper, and help us feed all the cats and dogs, and there are many. And weird owl-cat hybrids. Thanks also to Helmgast, Onyx Path Publishing. I said Helmgast, didn't I? I'm already thinking Sunday. Thanks to Onyx Path Publishing and White Wolf for the awesome games we use in this story. And thanks again to Astral Tabletop for providing the place where we roll virtual dice, not in meat space, but in the virtual web. Agents, let the audience know one more time who you are and where they can find you next, both at Vorpal Tales and other places.
Yes. Again, I am Dwayne at Made of Kimchi on the internet. The next time you can see me might possibly be in your ear holes for some of our podcasts. But if you want to see me visually, the next time you will see me will be on Tuesday playing Trinity Continuum Adventure.
I've been Satori. I'm also Kisama. You can find me on Twitter at TrueKisama. And you can find me on Monday for the first session of Dune.
That's correct.
Yes. It's going to be fun.
I've been, was, currently, and will be JT. And you can find me online at Zensomancer. Find out more about me doing freelance and job hunt stuff at johnthomas.tech. TTRPG writing at rivaltheories.com, and catch me on Wednesday playing Tales from the Loop, another hacker, this time 13-year-old Timothy.
Hello, I'm Harry, aka Celebrity Cat on YouTube and Twitter. Oh, I have lipstick on my lips because Jane drank from my soda can.
Sure, that's the reason.
Anyways, you can find me on the next show I'll be on is on Wednesday when we will be playing. Oh yeah, today's Saturday, not Sunday.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, you can catch me on tomorrow's game where I totally gloat over winning Sertaman. And oh yeah, on Wednesday for Fallout, where I'm playing a Vault Dweller who has not yet. Well, right now it's
soon.
Next, it's Fallout, and I'm going to be playing a Vault Dweller with terrible stats except for luck, which is incredible. And I can't wait to play that character. It's going to be so fun. Anyways, also, listen to the Saratoga by Night podcast. It is not back. It's on hiatus, but it will be back soon. It's a Vampire the Masquerade actual play. It's very good. You should catch up before it comes back so you don't have much of a backlog.
Hello, I'm Jane, also known as the Pro on Twitter and Tumblr. I have commissions opened right now, so if you want any of your tabletop RPG characters drawn, you can find more information on the socials. Other than that, I too am on Wednesdays, Tales from the Loop, and I'm also over at Onyx Path for Thursdays, where I'm playing Heng Po in a Changeling Chronicle during World War II.
And I am Zachary Daldret, he, him. I can be found at Zach Rules on Twitter. All of my community content stuff, I post links to it there, so that's the easiest way to find it. My birthday's next weekend, so if you want to get me something, you can buy something and rate it and give it a review or something and say nice things about me that way. Next time you will see me, I am going to be on a game, I think it starts this Tuesday, with Vancouver by Night, playing D&D for my first time. I think I'm playing a ranger, half elf. I may be playing a half orc fighter. I'm not really sure it's been decided yet. We'll find out. I have a couple days.
I assume you're turning 29
Again.
again. I'm not asking for your age. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, we can pretend that it's 29.
Also, I will point out, if you watch our closing or opening reels, look for the Mage White Walls poster. That is Jane's art, and can confirm it is awesome. All of those characters are drawn by Jane, except for Harry's, which we're still
I'm
pending.
Working on
Yep.
his. Sorry.
Shh, he came in late. It's his own fault. Okay, and now vote time for Ride or Die viewers. I can see the audience is already voting. Thank you all. Audience votes are worth 1 free point of willpower without actually having to spend willpower. Your votes for each other this session are, as usual, worth either restoring 1 point of primal energy. I think I said a second thing last week. What did I say?
XP.
Oh, yes.
I believe-
Yeah.
Or a point of XP.
Point of
Your
XP.
choice. Begin.
Well, I believe that I will be voting for the star player of this evening, and that would be Senor Nedry.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't think I need to tell you why.
Nedry knows.
Entry.
Nedry's ego will allow it to happen. JT says thank you.
My vote. This is a very tough one. It has to go to Nedry for making me just a Viking. I came out of left field. I loved it. It's great.
I felt on a creative kick this evening, I guess. Thank you. Oh, and now it's my turn. I am voting for Dasha for playing along on my little hacking bomb thing. So, thank you.
And getting shot the hell up or stabbed up.
Super
No
shanked.
problem. I'll always take a shank for the team.
Is it me now? Who should I vote for? I'm gonna have to vote for. Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Dwayne for also taking a shank for the team. I didn't take any damage for the team, so.
Oh, you will.
Thank
Oh, I have
Probably
no
in
doubt.
meat space, but you will. There's a reason I gave you all that stuff.
Okay, fear is real. I'm gonna go vote for Dwayne for being a goblin. I like that imagery.
What is going on right now? the
Listen,
guy
I
who
have
did the
simple
least
needs.
amount of stuff today is getting votes.
I mean, I did nothing but get attacked by a dog. That's just what I do in real life, though.
Thank you.
I'm going to give my vote to Satori for the fact that may need it next week after the de-resing thing.
True.
Take meat.
Awesome being awesome to each other, and we have tallied all the audience votes. Anyone who's still thinking can vote right up until our reel disappears. But until then, we must jack back out. Or I don't know, maybe we're suddenly going to make fans of these people. And they're going to start playing PvP shooters that I randomly chose. Either way, we'll return.
You know what? Sorry, real quick. I had to look to see if Apex Legends run on Mac because I don't have a gaming PC. I was going to download it right now, but it does not run on Mac, unfortunately.
Too bad. But we will see you all again next week. So, until 8 p.m. Eastern next Saturday, stay mutual. Good night.
Help. She's got a lipstick be more.